Today we're going to be talking about point of view. When we're reading a story, we have to think about the author's point of view. Who is telling us the story? The reason why we have to think about this is we have to know who is telling us the story, and are we getting a limited perspective or a perspective of all the events that are happening and what all the characters are thinking. So let's take a look at this chart, and we're going to see on the red book that we have first person point of view, and on the green book we have third person point of view. So let's start with the red book, first person point of view. The first person point of view is when the narrator is part of the story. A story is told in first person point of view because the character in the story is a narrator, and readers learn about other characters from what they say or what they do to the character in the story. So in first person point of view, you're going to see tip-off words like I, we, and me. I did it. I went to the movies. We got popcorn. And my favorite part of the movie was the ending. When you hear these types of words, you're realizing that I'm a character in the story and I'm the one that went to the movie. And so everything that you're experiencing about me going to the movies is being told from my point of view, from my perspective. You might get my feeling about the movie, but you wouldn't get my friends who went with me. In contrast to first person point of view is third person point of view. Let's look at the green book side of this chart. The third person narrator is outside of the story. The story is told in third person point of view when it has an outside narrator. The narrator can tell readers what all of the characters are saying, doing, and thinking. The person is what we call omniscient. They're all-knowing. Or they might have a limited viewpoint. They would only be able to know a few other characters' perspectives. In the third person point of view, you might see tip-off words like he, she, they, or people's names. So for example, in the book Harry Potter, if it was being told in third person point of view, I might see sentences such as, Harry walked into his classroom. Hermione was sitting there. She looked worried. She was feeling nervous about the test they were about to take. When Ron came into the room, he didn't look scared at all. He told Harry, I'm ready for this test. So we have all kinds of words like he, she, and even names in the story. But the third person narrator who's outside the story knows what Ron, Hermione, and Harry are all thinking in the story, and they're able to give you those perspectives. The reason why we think of both of these is we have to think, are we getting a limited perspective? Are we just getting one person's point of view about what's happening in the story? Or are we getting an outside person? And we're able to see what all the characters of the story are saying, feeling, and thinking. There is another type of point of view that's in between first person and third person, and that's second person. So we would go first, second, third. So why isn't second person on this chart? Well, second person point of view does exist, but it's rarely used in stories that you might read in a book. Second point of view is when it involves you, your. If I was telling somebody about something that I saw and I said, you have to see that movie, you would love it, then that's really a second point of view. And it's not used very often. It's kind of just in conversation. So to clarify all these different points of view, I have a short little video for you. So we're going to switch over to another screen, and I want you to watch this point of view video. And this is also going to show you second point of view as well. Oops, sorry. Let's go back just a second. My cursor was in the way. Here we go.
Point of view refers to who is telling the story. First person means writing from the author's point of view or perspective. Lizzie wrote the following story. As I walked through the park today, I saw the biggest, most beautiful blue butterfly. Common words used in first person are I and me. Second person is a point of view where the narrator tells a story to another character using the word you. Lizzie told Rosa the following story. You should have seen the butterfly. You would have loved his bright colors. When using second person, the author could be talking to the audience. We can tell this by the use of you, your, or your. Third person point of view is told by a narrator who is not part of the story. Will tells the following story in third person. As she stood staring lovingly at the butterfly, a UFO appeared out of nowhere and sucked the blue creature into its ship. When writing in third person, words such as he, she, it, and they are commonly used. Now you try. Finish the story using first, second, or third person. Be sure to specify which one you use.
Okay, so we're going to pause our video and come back, and that's point of view. Have fun practicing. So let's practice a little bit with our story, Zach Jumps In. So let's see if we can identify which point of view the narrator is coming from. Is it first person? Do we see I's, me's, and my's? Or is it third person? Do we see people's names and words like he and she? So look at the very first sentence. It says, my big brother Zach is a unique guy. What word tips us off of what point of view it is? My big brother Zach. We see the name Zach, so we're thinking, oh, I see a character's name. But when we see the word my in the first sentence, that means it's being told from a character who's telling us the story. And it's from that person's perspective. We can see that there's a my right in, and we mostly talk about Zach throughout the story. But because of that first word, my, we know that it is a first person point of view and that everything about Zach that we're finding out is being told from his little brother's perspective. So this would fall under the category of first person point of view because we see the my in there. And the narrator is the little brother in the story. Now it's your time to practice on other stories that you've read. Have fun.